let's get started with an introduction. My name is Lena Smith. I am the Director of Customer Success and Support here at Media Valley. And today I'm thrilled to be joined by Kortnay Woods, the Digital Asset Manager at The Chosen, a multi-seasons TV series that is now distributed internationally and translated into as many as 50 languages. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we jump in. We will be doing a Q&A at the end of this season. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the Q&A tab and we will do our best to answer them. We will also be recording this session. So if there is something you miss or if you want to share the sessions with anyone after today, expect that in your inbox later today in our daily roundup. We will also be putting a quick poll towards the end. So if everyone could take a couple of seconds just to answer that, it will be much appreciated. So let's just get started. Hi, Kortnay. Thank you so much for joining us today. I have introduced you a little bit in the beginning, but I want you to take the time to introduce yourself and talk a little bit more about The Chosen to all of the audiences today.
Sure. Hi, Lena. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Yes, I am the Digital Asset Manager at The Chosen, and we have been using our Media Valley DAM for about 2 years now. And we house everything that we plan to distribute and share with our partners and within our teams to help us market the show, as well as help us with the sales of some of our merchandise and with some of the fundraising we do that helps us translate The Chosen into multiple different languages.
Awesome. That sounds fantastic. Thanks for sharing that a little bit. So before you come into this point, I know you've done successfully and you'll share that with us. What's happening in the beginning? What was that light bulb moment that makes you realize I need a digital asset management platform for my organization? Or can you just share with us what are some of the challenges that you were facing to come to that point?
Sure. So when The Chosen began, we really began small, and our funding was totally as a result of gifts that people made, pay it forward types of gifts that people made. And so it was really grassroots. So we created a lot of content, but we were able to start with a Google Drive. Over time, we found as we began to grow that we were, sometimes we occasionally had difficulties. Sometimes we were using old assets. We had updated assets. People didn't know, so old assets were being posted. It began to get difficult finding certain assets because of the volume of assets that were created. We just realized that we needed some sort of system that would enable us to increase our efficiency and enable us to find, update, control versioning, and related types of issues that are common with managing digital assets within companies. So given that, we did a search, we investigated and looked at, we must have looked at about 25 to 30 different solutions, and whittled it down to the top 5, and then my executive team made the final decision which one that we were going to use.
And that is Media Valley. There you go. And here we are today. I'm glad to hear that, that pain points leads you to us. Can you describe, you've touched base a little bit briefly on how you are currently using Media Valley. Can you elaborate a little bit more how you and your team, I know you have global team, are currently leveraging Media Valley in your day-to-day workflow?
Yeah, sure. So there's so many wonderful features within Media Valley, and we're pretty much using most of them. The the category structure, one of the things that we found in the transition from Google Drive, we went from a folder structure. One of the things we wanted to do, and which we're still working towards, is use less of a folder structure and encourage searching more. And Media Valet enables us to do that. With the attribute setup and the different ways that we can add metadata, our governance team is discussing and just determining best ways to tag our assets so that they're easily viewable, and we're relying less on a category or folder structure. So the search functions are wonderful. The ability to use things like light boxes. So one of the ways around using less categories is we put assets in one subcategory, but based upon how we tag, whether it's through the category name, the attribute, the description or comment, or some other format, we're able to find those, then search, create light boxes, and then create portals from the light boxes that sync to the light boxes, so people are able to get what they need, but it's tailored and it's curated for their special needs. So we have multiple teams that use this platform, and one of the things that we found is that curating the access to different assets based upon the needs of the teams is one great way to improve and increase the user experience. And light boxes help us to do that, as well as portals. Portals we use internally as well as externally, and they've been used as well as galleries, and they've all greatly helped us with getting assets to our team members and to our distributors and vendors and partners in a timely manner. So there are many features that we use in Media Valet that's been extremely helpful. And I'm sure there's some we've used that I haven't mentioned. So.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. That is quite a lot of features that you're leveraging. And I'm glad to hear that you are moving away from folder structures or category structures and leveraging our search functionalities more, because our search is powered by AI. So I'm sure that you are using that because you're leveraging search. So I want to talk a little bit about the AI. Everybody wants to talk about AI nowadays. How are you currently leveraging AI today? Any of the audio, video intelligence or face recognition that you are currently using for your team?
We're actually using both.
Okay.
We're using the facial recognition. Actually, the facial recognition has been a godsend. We have thousands of photo assets and hundreds per cast member, and so the ability to just have one picture, put the cast member's name and their character name, and then 1,500 of their photos automatically tagged with their name has been an absolute delight. And what's been really nice too is I'm not doing it as often as I did when we first started the photo AI, but it's pretty accurate. There's only been one or two that I've needed to change, so that's been an absolute delight. And this has helped us immensely with finding assets that, particularly for our cast members who have strike rights, we can find the photos, make sure that the necessary ones are hidden and not used until we've received the cast members' approval to use those photos in our marketing. So our photo AI has been really beneficial. We've also used to slightly lesser degree, I'm hoping to increase that more, the audio visual AI. And that's been really helpful too, as far as captioning some of our videos, as well as providing documentation of it's like a script
Yeah.
of the video, and it's been really nice. And so that's some of how we've been using
Amazing. The
AI.
face recognition is one of my favorite features too. It's especially for a small team, it's super
Yeah.
helpful. You'll be able to tag and in a faster way. So thanks for sharing that. So you mentioned that you use a little bit of audio video intelligence today to get the transcription and the closed captioning. You are working with global team, and you have a lot of shows that you plan to translate to more than 50 languages in the future. Can you share your vision, how you are going to leverage audio video intelligence functionality in Media Valley to help with to achieve that goal in the future?
Yeah, sure. So we do have a governance group that I reference and use as we make decisions of how the dams to be governed and how to best use the different features within the dam, as well as assigning metadata and tagging assets and that type of thing. So a lot of the decisions with how we use the AI, the audiovisual AVI, will be determined by the distribution team, who is responsible for a lot of our global outreach and distribution. One of the exciting aspects of AVI is that ability to create transcriptions of a full video, regardless of the length, whether it's a 30-second video or it's a full 53-minute episode. And in addition to that, not only can we get a transcription in English, but once that transcription is made, we can switch it, and there are several hundred different language choices that we can choose from to transcribe. And one of the things that I think will be beneficial for our international team is to have that transcription. And so someone won't need to listen and transcribe, but it's already done. All they'll need to do is listen and edit so that it matches the jargon or the norms of the language of the specific area in which the people live. So that's one of the things that we'll probably end up using the AVI for more in future.
That's fantastic. Sounds amazing to me. So I want to ask you this questions. Now that you've been with us for almost 2 years now, been using Media Valley for almost 2 years. What are some of the results or outcomes have you seen with Media Valley so far? Is there anything that you can do now or do more now with Media Valley that you couldn't do before Media Valley?
Well, one of the exciting things that I'm excited to see is team members increasing use of the check-in, check-out feature. So when we with the implementation of Media Valet, the incidence of accidental incorrect asset usage went down exponentially. It became basically non-existent. With the check-in, check-out feature, it's a wonderful version control, and we're able to see the changes that we've made, to see the history, and still use only the most recent asset, which is absolutely wonderful. In addition to that, with the existence of Portal, and I know other colleagues from other industries have said similar. The portals have been an absolute, they are amazing. And our ability to create kits of assets that we've been able to create standard kits that we're able to share with vendors or distributors or create standard portals with exclusive assets that our partners need. That has been wonderful. And we've really been able to do it in a timely manner within deadline, which has helped, which has helped in many ways our bottom line and just enabled us to reach our distribution goals. So there are many things that the platform has enabled us to do, but those are two highlights, I think.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing all those results with us today and with the audience. I find this going to be a tough question. We have what we call as a hot damn moment. So I'm going to ask you today, what is your hot damn moment? A hot damn moment is an experience you had where you were impressed with Media Valley, or you start seeing the result and you're like, wow, that is amazing. What will be yours? Can you share that with us today?
Well, this would be tough, although I am excited to say that we actually had one today. Happened
Oh,
just a few moments ago. I received a request from a colleague for video material that we needed, and it was one of our emergency requests, and we needed it quickly. And when I looked through our dam to find it, we realized we didn't have the specific a specific 6-minute video, but we had a larger video of which that individual is a part of. So I was able because we had run audio video intelligence on it, I was able to search using a search word in the video, locate the time of that performance, and send the video and the performance time to the person, and they're going to be able to create that spot so that we'll be able to post it soon. So it's that's one of many ways that I've found the dam to be wonderful, and I would call that a hot dam moment.
that
So
is a pretty good hot damn moment, and it happened this morning. That's just
yeah.
perfect timing. So that I smile when you say that, because as someone who is always working with customers, hot damn moments always put a huge smile in our faces. So thank you for sharing that. I have one last question for you, and I hope the audience can take this away out of the session today. You've done this, you've implemented Media Valley from the very beginning. You worked very hard with your team to do that. What advice would you give to people wanting to use their DAM or start using a digital asset management?
One of the things that I would recommend from the get-go is I highly recommend, as you're looking for a dam solution, to check to see what type of customer service support the dam provider provides, because the implementation is key. We are successful now because we had great implementation support, great transition support from the Media Valet team. And we continue to have that support that's ongoing. In addition, governance really is an important factor. To successfully implement a digital asset management system or platform, you really need to understand how people are using the platform, what their needs are, and then work to tailor it as much as possible to those needs. I mean, there'll always be some consistency. There'll always be some things that the dam manager has to say, no, this is what we have to do. However, if you want buy-in, and if you want it to be used, and if you want it to be successful, and you want the assets not to get lost in the fray, it's important to have your constituents, your colleagues have a say and be a part of the implementation of this decision making of anything that applies to the use of the dam. And then I would also say explore all of the features and of the dam and use them. They're all beneficial. And how different businesses use them will be differently because of business needs and strategies and focus, but use them. That's what they're there for.
Amazing advice. Again, that was such great advice. Using governance, making sure there is a system in place and getting the buy-in from all your stakeholders from the very beginning that promotes user adoptions. That's fantastic to share. So that was my last question. Thank you so much, Kortnay, for sharing your story and joining us today. I'm sure it was highly valuable to those who are on the call today. But just before we jump into some questions, I wanted to pull up a quick poll. If you want to learn more about any of the use cases, all that stuff that we discussed today and all the functionality and features, you can definitely follow up with us, any team here at Media Valley, or if you're already a customer, you can contact your customer success manager as well. So yeah, that's the poll up there. Take some time to respond. Right, so I guess this is the exciting part. Questions. Anyone has any questions? You can type it in the Q&A or in the chat. Thanks, Margaret. I'm happy to hear that's very insightful. Any other questions that we can answer today? All right, Kortnay, there's a question for you. Outside of using face recognition for actors or talents, do you have any other use for face or video AI in general?
Yes, so we also use it. We have influencers that we work with who help with marketing and introducing the Chosen to the people out in the community. So occasionally they'll come in. We'll have photos of them or videos of them, and we want to make sure that we tag them using facial recognition in their photos and AVI in any video we might take. We also have some of our staff photos that we also tag. So we use it for multiple purposes in addition to our cast.
Awesome. There's another question for you, Kortnay. How do you ensure that the right people are seeing the right assets and not outdated assets?
So one of the things, and this is part of our governance and our regular audit, one of the things that we do is annually, if not biannually, we meet with the various team members, as well as we have our quarterly governance meeting. And we meet to ask the question, what types of assets are you going to need? Do you need? What's coming down the pike? And that way we can do some prediction saying, okay, they're going to need access to this type of asset or that type of asset. As well as one of the things I do is I'll look back at past needs to analyze, okay, these are the types of things they've asked for, so that between the analysis of past use and the data collection of current and future use from the team member, their access can be curated specific for their needs so that they only receive what they need when they need it. So that's one of the things we do. Another way that we make sure is we do use the check-in, check-out feature to make sure that any assets that are updated, that people will only receive the most updated asset. We do have a general rule for our DAM where, generally speaking, and I say generally, so about 99% of the time, only those assets that we know are going to be shared and are already approved are uploaded into the DAM. Now, we do have some teams who do some ideation, so we have it set up for them to do that. However, the user group the way we also use user groups to help control some of that. So their user group, they're the only ones that have access to those categories with those assets that they're developing and ideating on and that type of thing. So we put controls in place to help that. So we curate and we use user groups to help us ensure that people get the appropriate assets and don't have access to the assets that they don't need.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, thanks, Ian. It says that no more questions. So I guess that's the wrap. Thank you so much again, Kortnay, for joining us today. It was such an insightful session, and I hope everyone here joining us today find that also insightful. If you need further conversations or any questions that you have, please don't hesitate to reach out to us or myself directly, or Ian here. We'll be happy to answer your questions and help you along the way. Thank you, everyone. Happy Friday and enjoy your weekend. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.